aspirants. I hope you guys are doing well. Now, with the days coming closer and the months passing by in speed, of course, all of us are going to be stuck in this turmoil of being able to not decide. We're going to be stuck in this dilemma, a loop wherein one is going to be able to not figure out which exam to prepare and what is more important. While I've already done this widely to be able to tell you that the preparation for both can be done simultaneously, but again, there are a couple of students who are very focused on to how the AILET needs to be. So on very high demand, here I come with a quick pep talk around the roadmap for AILET and what are going to be your requirements that you will have to make sure if AILET is your game plan. Because unlike CLAT, AILET is all about speed. So there is a temperament difference. That's the first thing that we'll have to respect and acknowledge both because if none of those things are happening, we will always be stuck with not knowing what exactly needs to be done. And with that, let us begin with what we have. So a complete roadmap starting from April to December. We're going to talk prep, strategy, and mindset, all of the things. Now beginning with, of course, future NLU warriors. If AILET 26 is in December, which means we have only gotten 9 months of pure preparation to ourselves. So which is why we need to have a no fluff, we need to have a no nonsense strategy to ourselves, which should be peppy, it should not be monotonous, and of course it needs to have a rock solid timetable. So here is where I come to be able to help you plan your roadmap to AILET 2026. Now first things first, we've got to know our enemy. Now, AILET ideally is going to ask 1 to 50 questions in 120 minutes. Unlike CLAT, which is mostly comprehension heavy. There is no specific section of legal reasoning in AILET, but there are a couple of questions that are asked under the reasoning section itself. English takes about 50 questions, GK takes about 30, and logic takes about 70. There is a +1 for every correct answer and a minus marking for every negative answer. AILET is all about speed being the major aspect and of course the accuracy as well. Now, what I've done is because we have just a couple of months to ourselves, so it's easier to divide it into phase. So let's begin with the first phase, which is going to be anywhere between April to June. We've called it the seed the strategy. Here is where we will just make sure that our foundation is laid properly. We are going to go from the root to up. And we are going to make sure that all of our techniques are rightly put to place. So we are going to ensure that it's the origination of our, preparation that happens, and that is what we are going to make sure that it is very firm. So beginning with, what are you going to do for English? Please make sure that you're reading the editorials. It is very important. RCs, of course, because the entire of the paper is all about the RCs. About 10 contextual words in a day minimum. So not maximum can be anything, but definitely minimum. In logic, you are to do your CR concepts. The concepts are important. Please don't take that for granted. Puzzle drills, maybe 2 times, 3 times a week, whatever it is. Your AR, brush up your legal concepts also because as discussed, there is a little bit of legal in the reasoning section. In GK, of course, there will have to be April onwards. There are going to be one-liners. Please make sure that you're doing weekly quiz. For starters, because you're juggling between AILET and CLAT, maybe one walk a month is enough, just so that you have the vibe of it, you have the flavor of what AILET also looks like. Getting on to the next phase, which is from July to September, we name it the foundation becomes fire phase. So here is where we've already learned the foundation. Now we're going to level up a little bit. So English, now what you're going to do is timed RCs. The timing part is very important to AILET. Parajumbles, of course, you're going to do on weekly basis. Why? Because there is no question of parajumble, but the comprehension game gets strong. So you're going to make sure that this is something that you do. Logic, again, about 25 odd questions a day. You're going to maintain an error log starting now. And of course, the PYQs will have to be done weekly. Again, for GK, July to April, please make sure the current are done until August. September roundup is going to begin. Now you're going to close on the numbers and the mock will be done every 10 days. And the third phrase that we have is called from October to November, which is simulate like a ninja. Now we have to be thorough with our preparation and we have to start getting confident with what we do. So now there are going to be 2 walks a week, which are going to be done in the AILET timing only. So don't do it at 10 a.m. or 8 p.m. Do it when the AILET happens. Monday to Wednesday, you can focus on logic. 2 days a week, you can exclusively do English. And of course, Saturdays can be dedicated to GK altogether. Sunday, there's going to be a full mock. If you're juggling between CLAT, please break this down. In fact, even if you focus a lot here, it's not going to really harm because the preparation is pretty much the same. Logic sprints are going to happen. Say, for example, 30 questions in 25 minutes. Here is where your sectionals can come in handy. The fourth phase that we have is called the final boss battle. Now that December is there and you know that in the very first week is where you will have the examination, so you're going to go all out. 3 mocks a week minimum. Please use flashcards or notes as of a copy for your GK. Daily RC and logic, of course. Please make sure you're sleeping right and that there is a chill playlist because the burnout will start and it will begin to take a mental toll on you, so you would want to relax a little bit. What is going to be the goal? It has to be peak performance. Now we have to ace that. We are an aim that we're going to get 100 and above. Now, for speed and accuracy, because speed is what AILET is all about, what are the kind of hacks that you can employ? Starting with what we call as a 20-20-20 drill, which means 20 questions, 20 minutes for 20 days. If you just keep going on to that, you will naturally get discipline and consistency, eventually getting onto the accuracy. So if you see everything is intertwined, you just have to make sure that one thing is leading to the other. RCs, read aloud plus shadow read. So when you're trying to be reading aloud the RCs, that will have a very different comprehension. Shadow read is going to be that you read it in your mind. You do sub-vocalization. Logic sprints, please make sure that they're going to be 10 questions minimum in 7 minutes. So more number of questions, lesser time frame to yourself. What are going to be your accuracy tricks that you will have to make sure? Please make sure you maintain an error log. You reverse solve. That is, you start from where you are right now and then go backward, because what you would have studied in the starting must have been 3 months to it. So see how much do you remember. Do elimination challenge. That is, try to understand out of the 4 options, which are the 3 fake options that you have. And ultimately, in your head, there must always be a voiceover. Speed hacks, try the 20-20 drill. And of course, that is what will set you straight. So these are some very doable techniques that we have, which will always make sure that you are in the right track. Now, needless to say how important these are, I've already done a white here around it, but again, since a passing mention is required, what are the importance of mock? We have to make sure that we attempt the mock in the exam slot only. Doing it before and after will not give us a real-time feel. The hours of the examination are purposely chosen to be such. So you have to be somebody who's equipped to be productive in that hour. So please make sure that you attempt it there. Review your mocks in 3 layers. The wrong questions, the ones that you guessed, and the ones that took time. Please make sure that your error log has all of these 3 columns to themselves and note down so that you know how to work and where to work. Use mock mistake tracker, that is an error log. Ritualize your mock experience. Please make sure you make it a ritual. It's not something that you're just doing once in a while. Make sure that you're doing it on regular basis, because we always say mocks aren't just tests, they're always your training ground. If you don't practice here, then where? Is how it always is. Now, this is a rough schedule that I have. It could be obviously customized. In fact, it should be customized. So try getting up in the morning. It could be any time, but yeah, 6-ish is a good time. Make sure you do the editorial and do your logic drills. We've already studied how much you have to do, so you can do it. You can tailor fit it by yourself. Around afternoon, if you're a school-going person, please go to school. Otherwise, GK revision can probably be done. Evenings can be dedicated to RC, your PYQs, whatever be the revision, and of course the mock. And over the weekend, you can do your mock, your analysis, and of course your GK roundup. So with that, what's going to happen is it will not cluster altogether. Anything which is more compartmentalized becomes easier for the mind also to process. So this one is for both. I've just given you a sketch, a more detailed roadmap. Maybe we can do some other time, but this is how you can sort of, break down your day into what the subjects are going to be all about. Now, section-wise, let's just dive deeper into it. RCs are always the king. So please make sure you treat it like one. Practice the tone, the inference, the contextual vocab is always better than random mugging. So please make sure आप जो पढ़ रहे हो और उसमें जो आ रही है उसको guess करने का आदत डालो. We've done the tricks around contextual vocabulary and that is what needs to be taken into account. Logic, please make sure your CR and your classic puzzles are taken care of. diagram everything. Please make sure that you have a copy wherein you've jotted down all your rules that are going to be required. GK, please make sure you know all the legal, the award, the international, the static. Flashcards are always bigger than long, lengthy PDFs because PDFs have so much going on that we always tend to get confused. So for English, please know, focus on your RC, fact versus inference, tones, paralogic, all of these things. So the more you practice, the better you get. So as it is rightly said, the only way to get better in reading comprehensions is to do more comprehensions. Now, what are the best sources? Of course, we've got the GK PDFs. You have ample sources around it. This Legal Edge weekly wrap that happens. So we have also been able to, we've also been trying to help you as much as we can with it. Study IQ static. Again, that can be one of the very good sources for your static. For English, you would refer to the Hindu, the Indian Express. You can also do some CAT level RCs. So your GMAT 1000 is a very effective book that you can do, and Vocab 500. For logic, AILET PYQs, GMAT CR, Puzzle Prime, and of course, Aris Agarwal. So all of these sources will come out to be very, very handy and helpful. So don't chase the book though, but chase clarity. You're solving from so many sources so that there is clarity. But before you jump onto all of this, please make sure you've exhausted all of the material that has been given by Ellie, because Ellie material is supremely superior in terms of practice. Now, past papers, always remember they are a gold mine. Please make sure that towards the end, the fag end of your preparation, you make sure that you've solved the papers. Maintain a concept tracker and an error log. Both are two very different things. Note repeating vocab and logic types. Just see what are the kind of questions that have been repeating in the year. Make a certain pattern for it, because that repetition are going to be the kind of topics that you need to know at the back of your hand. So top scorers always swear by the past papers. They always know what's happening. Now, what is always a topper's mindset? Please understand, they log mistakes. They don't just read and think that I've understood. They make sure that they've penned it down, and in the next mock, they go to see if they've rectified those or not. They time everything. For them, a stopwatch is God. Please make sure you keep one. For GK, they use flashcards or highlighters. They don't just start reading the PDFs every time. There is a peer prep chat. They have friends who are of the same mindset, and there is where they come together and they divide GK topics or whatever be the topic, and then they solve together. When you do it with a friend circle, it always helps. So fear known mistakes more than the unknown. So if you know and you make a mistake, that is more of a humiliation. That is more of what you need to fear from. What you don't know is nothing to be fearing about, because that was something that you never knew. So it's a very important, it's food for thought. Always remember. Now, just a quick recap. We did the monthly timetable is going to look like from April to May, we finished the basics. From, of course, June to July, we do the sectional drills. August to September, the mocks and the PYQ. October, November, it's the exam simulation. And December, polish, perform, and shine. Final prep, how should your mindset be? Make sure you revise the best 70%. You don't need to know 100% of the course, but you need to know 70% of it at least, and that should be thorough. Precision is always greater than perfection. So you don't want to score a complete mark, but you want to score, make sure that whatever you do, your accuracy is on point. Prioritize rest and recall. Please don't just get into that, into that cycle. Don't fatigue yourself to a point wherein, you don't know how to come back. Relax, meditate, make sure that you're calm and you're taking active rest in between. And you are always nervous because you care. So if you're getting nervous about your preparation, it's a good sign. It's because you are now worried that what if your preparation doesn't pan out. People who are not nervous are always chill, not because they're very cool in their head, but because of the fact that they have not studied anything. So this is a positive attitude. And ultimately, AILET is all about taking less time, and there's going to be a lot of chaos because the number of questions are more. Prep like you own it. You don't need it all. You just need to do that right. And with that, we come to an end. I hope this was motivating enough, and this did give you some clarity as to how should your AILET preparation be. In case there is any more, we will also do a detailed version around it sometime later. But once you've started on that track, please make sure that you're not in any way derouting or derailing from it, because that will be a waste of your labor and your precious time. If you like the video, you know what to do. Please do hit the like button, share it with like-minded friends, and if this is something that's going to work for you, you know what you have to do. Drop a comment for NLUD. That's going to be it. This was my attempt to be able to help you a little bit. If there's anything else that you want me to come around with, do let me know and I shall make a video around that as well. Thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody.